Well, each and every day, 27 people are diagnosed with a brain tumor in Canada, according to the Brain Tumor Foundation of this country. That's nearly 10,000 people every year. Not to mention the thousands, of course, of family members who are also impacted by a diagnosis. On Saturday in Winnipeg, there's a public walk to recognize those with brain tumors and people who support them. My next guest is helping out with it. Camila Muñoz-Gomes is the Winnipeg Ambassador, in fact, for the Brain Tumor Foundation of Canada. She, as I mentioned, is one of the organizers of the walk, and she's a survivor as well. And she's up early and here via Zoom. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I have to start with your shirt because you're on Zoom and I can't help asking about it. You have all kinds of numbers on it. Tell me the significance. What are you wearing there?
I do. So, sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, it's good. It's early.
So this year, the slogan is United by Numbers. So basically, it's showing all of the statistics for the Brain Tumor Foundation, really. So the 27 Canadians that are diagnosed every year, 120 different types of brain tumors, just so many throughout.
Yeah,
but,
all over your shirt there. Blue shirt with all the gold and the white writing on it. 120 different types of brain tumors. What happened with yours? What kind was it? And what happened when did you realize that you had one?
So basically, in October of 2022, me and my husband bought our first home. And then I associated my headaches starting after that it was due to stress of buying a new home, dealing with our 3 kids, juggling work, all of that fun stuff. So I didn't really think much of it until maybe in mid-November that I started kind of waking up in the middle of the night from the headaches and eventually kind of losing a little bit of vision in my left eye. So my husband kind of convinced me, he really convinced me to make an appointment with my doctor. So we did that. And then December 15th, I found out through a CT scan that there was a tumor. So we rushed kind of February 6th of the following year, 2023, I had my surgery. So it was very, very quick. And then we found out it was a grade 2 meningioma for myself. So that is, I believe, the most common type of brain tumor. Because of the different type of grade, I needed to do radiation. So
how are you now?
I'm okay. I'm good. Not any blurred vision. I think I function pretty well. So physically, I look okay. Unfortunately, I have been dealing with some seizures in the last year. So we're still kind of figuring those things out. But that's the thing about brain tumors as well, is like everybody can appear fine, but really sometimes there's a lot going on.
Yeah. When this was happening to you, how old were you, Camila?
I was 20. I had just turned 27 that year.
Okay. And how old were the kids? I'm just trying to get a sense of how busy your life was when all this was going on for you.
So my youngest was almost 2. She turned 2 the following January. My middle daughter, she was 7. And then my son had just turned 10.
Little kids, yeah. Busy life. It's interesting how I appreciate that you shared that you thought it was stress, and because a lot of times we do that with our health, right? And maybe it is stress, but yeah. What have you learned about having a brain tumor that you would like to impart to people, either about how we interact or what more awareness you wish there was around this? You already alluded to sort of, the invisible injury aspect of things that can be very difficult for people. But what would you like people to know about it?
You know what? It's physically, yeah, again, you look okay. I look like I'm 100%, but I'm still dealing with memory and trying to focus, and just to give those people who are probably dealing with something, who probably look like me, who look fine, just give them some grace, because you never know, like they're still probably struggling. People who are dealing with it when they're in the middle of all of it, is like the chemo or the radiation or still awaiting surgery. Again, just give them all the support and care that they need.
I understand the community really helped you. So let's talk about Saturday. What's happening and what's it meant to you to have, that community around?
So Saturday we're having our Brain Tumor Walk that's located at Kildonan Park in Winnipeg. And estimated about like 300 people right now are going to be attending. So we're hoping that's kind of what we're looking at, if not more. But basically when the community comes together, like I love it. It shows the amount of support and I guess like I want to say foundation that everyone would have, whether it's the survivors who maybe don't have a lot of support at home and they see the community that's actually around. It's really nice to see, or people who go in memory of a loved one and it's keeping their memory alive, right? Or their the way that they were as a person. I've met so many incredible people throughout this community in Winnipeg as well as in Canada, because the Brain Tumor Foundation, actually, there is a young adult group that I'm a part of, and I've met some wonderful people in that. Through online and like in person, I've been lucky enough to meet. So it's wonderful. I'm really, really grateful for them.
I'm really glad to hear that, because years ago, I know I was doing stories and I had a very close friend, just for full disclosure, who was in a terrible car accident in Winnipeg and lived with a brain injury for years. So it wasn't a brain tumor, but brain injury, but he was younger. And part of the challenge and what that led to, and he was a reporter, so together we kind of did some stories. And part of the stories were when you're young and something happens sometimes, finding those supports with other people that might be younger. Maybe they're not there in our healthcare system, right? For rehab or for whatever, post-op. Because you might be put in with elderly people, which there's nothing wrong with that, except for the fact that if you're the only young person, it does change the texture of thing. What's the young support group meant?
They get it, like it's just, they're in the same boat, whether it's the 18-year-old friend that I've made or the 40-year-old friend that I've made. They're all kind of going through similarities, and one day I'll be a little confused, like, oh, have you guys experienced this before? Or, oh, I just can't stop thinking like about why it's difficult for me to focus still, but then it's super encouraging in a way that they share their experiences, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm going through it too. Amazing. So it's like, it sucks to hear it, but I'm glad I'm not the only one, if that makes sense.
It does. Yeah. And I know the hundreds of people that I hope are going to be, as you said, signed up and walking on Saturday will come together on all kinds of levels and just have a nice day. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for telling us about it. I have braintumor.ca if people want more information. Is that right?
You got it.
Okay,
yep.
Awesome. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you, Camila. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's Camila Muñoz-Gomes. Winnipeg Brain Tumor Walk happens on 28th of June. That is Saturday, 8:30 in the morning, Kildonan Park. Beautiful place for a walk like that, by the way. For information, and once again, the Brain Tumor Foundation of Canada's website is where you're going. Then you're going to click on the local walk. You're going to check out all the Winnipeg details. It is braintumor.ca.